What about this guy?
I told you, he's a unique cat.
I mean, he is unique, isn't he?
He's a great guy. He's
How did
got
you
so
get
many
so
skills.
lucky?
Because I know another great Amish guy named David Bontrager. And they're related somehow. I mean, second cousins, I think. And they grew up together in Ohio. And David's a very good friend of mine. David's hip disintegrated when he was 15. So they pinned his hip. But he's got an upper body that is unbelievable. He might be one of the strongest people I've ever met in my life from the waist up. And he's really crippled. I took him to my chiropractor. My chiropractor, Dr. Khan, said, "Get in here, man." He had him in the X-ray. He says, "Get in here." He goes, I can't believe that. I can't believe David's even walking." He goes, "Look at these X-rays." And David had like 3 or 4, maybe more, like 4-inch screws that had just pegged what was left of his hip to what was left of his socket. And I wanted to weep. I couldn't believe that. He goes, "I don't know how he's walking around."
How does David fit in with?
With what?
With our farm, with the Amish farmer.
Well, David was a good farmer. I got him organic, and him and his wife Andy and his sons Omer and Nelson and Martha. I mean, we love those people.
And they're Amish.
Oh yeah.
And now you're friends over here.
Well, David
Introduced you?
David said, "Come on, we got to go get some," because me and David were working on something over here. And he had been talking about Elmer this, Elmer that, Elmer certified organic, and Elmer's. And then we were going up there, and David was right up here lives the best carpenter in the settlement. He goes, no, let me correct myself. Up here lives the best carpenter in the state. He goes, maybe in the country. And he's also, not only to mention that, David said, he's the best cement man. And he does field stones. And he did all my brick. You can see that. And I'm going to tell you right now, we just hit it off pretty good. And we share like interests, organic farming.
And he's a good farmer.
And he's a great farmer. He's got a great family. He's got a great family. His wife Edna, the kids are dynamite. The girls are. I mean, he's got his own built-in workforce, man. He's got seven kids there, and most of them are old enough to get up and get busy. Ernest goes with him on the job, where he learns his skill, and he doesn't have to pay his kids. Ernest doesn't get the money yet. Ernest goes out on his own. He gets that's when he gets. His pay is he learns the trade.
In the scheme of things, when does Ernest go out? Will they
I already told Elmer. I said, as soon as the boy's going out, I'm moving them right over here, because I'm tired of waiting on your ass.
So
He's in such demand. Our people, when I say our people, the English are lined up his driveway. I mean, they're courting him. It's like anything I've never seen anything like it before. They bring ice cream over to him because they all want Elmer to work, because he charges a fair price, and he's an animal when it comes to working, and he just knows his stuff. I mean, that's all I can say. And we've become good friends, and we have a lot of good laughs, and I'm quite sure he hasn't seen anybody like me before.
I said to his son, I noticed we had steel wheels on those cars.
Yeah, you can't use rubber.
I said, why?
No rubber.
I said, is it a religious thing, and the boy?
It's a way of life. What did that do?
The boy says you don't get flat tires.
That's exactly right. You don't get flat tires.
And so then we talked to Elmer, and Elmer.
Sounds good.
They're sustainable.
I'll call you in the early afternoon.
They're self-sustainable.
Thanks, Scott.
Totally.
Bye-bye.
I mean,
They've worked it out.
The Amish have worked it out for hundreds of years. The fact is that, I mean, from making their own clothing to putting up most of their food, you don't see the sleigh bells in the grocery store very often, I'll tell you that much.
And
Elmer says he may never, after he found out how many genetically modified products were in the cereals and stuff, after I informed him about that, he said, I may never eat, he goes, I'll never eat it again. And you know what? I believe it. I believe it, because he knows. He knows that what's happening here is the big test, and we're failing miserably.